Welcome to my tiny fish tank, and today we're gonna look at breeding tanks. I mean, I've done some breeding and some containers or tanks are terrible for breeding your fish and others are really good. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of review of what I think, because I have plenty. Alright, so we're gonna start off by the smallest one. So this is a very basic, just floating tank with a lid that has holes in the bottom, and they're super tiny, so the fry won't be able at all to go underneath, and these little flaps will make it float by air. It's a really great one for collecting your fish and keeping them somewhere and being able to move them. Also, I like to lift it up so the water runs down, and then I push it back in so the water comes up, because it doesn't have a lot of water circulation, and I feel that maybe the water change in these can be a little bit bad. Also, they are quite wobbly in the tank. I do not like it when this box basically just wobbles around in a tank because I'm moving stuff or because of pump. So all in all, it works, but it's not one of my favorites. It's wobbly. The water change or water flow in them are quite bad, but they're small, they're easy, and can hold fish. For the other one, it's this two-story. It's basically for guppy breeding, so it has a insertion that you can take out. So if you have a pregnant guppy, you can put it in here, and when it gives birth, the fry will fall down into the cracks, or yeah. So they will fall down into this tank and be kept here, and they will not escape. So this is very good for guppy breeding, just when she's giving birth. It also comes with a tiny lid to keep your fish inside. However, I find that even though these holes are small, your guppy can still come through. And I'm serious, I've had guppies jumping out of these tiny holes. So I usually also add a piece of a plastic bag or something on top of it, just to prevent the guppy from escaping, because she will try to escape. This is not a cozy setup for a guppy. I mean, the guppy would be quite big, so it's not a cozy setup. But it does its magic. It catches the fry, and then you can move the fry. I don't like keeping fry in these tiny tanks. Next up, we have, because I have in several sizes, the Marina hang-on breather box, and basically I'm gonna show you, these are the two sizes. This is the size medium, which is quite small, and this I believe is the size large, if I remember correctly. So the sizing of these are quite different. So I would say that these are quite good, actually. You will run them with just using a air pump. So it's now not connected, but basically what you do is just you pop everything on, and it has hinges. It has hinges that will connect it to the aquarium, and also it has, as you can see here, these will just make it able to hook into the aquarium. You connect the air pump to this one, and what happens is basically that your water will push through into here, circulate throughout the tank, and then you will have a tiny little filter here it will go through and just circulate the water back out. So this is a good, I would say that this is a good size for keeping fry for a little while at least. However, this one, I find it to be a little bit larger than I would like, so what I do is I usually put a sponge here just to be safe, because I've had fry going through there. I breed nano fish, so no wonders there, but it's not nice when that happens. Also, it comes with these dividers. It comes with two dividers, so what you can do is just slide them in. Of course I put it the wrong way. So what you can do is you slide it in, and then you have one section. So you can have 3 sections in total, but it's small. You would like your fry to have some space to move, because it's important for them to grow. They won't grow unless they can actually have space to grow and move. The tank also comes with a lid that you just pop on top, and it works quite well because in my opinion this the water intake to this tank will be a little bit splashy, so having a lid could be fine, could be good for your fish so it doesn't get too much. And it's, if you have a air pump that you can regulate, this could be quite good for you. I mean, it works really well. However, the only negative about this tank, and it has to do with where I'm living. I'm living up in the Arctic in Tromsø, Norway, like top of the Norway almost. So it gets really cold here. So if I don't have heaters in my tanks, my fish will die. It's no question, they will die. They cannot survive without it. As easy as that. So this hanging outside of the tank, I feel like that's a little bit of a risky business because the water flow is not that great throughout the tank. So the water will be a little bit cooler in this tank, and if I open a window, that's how fry dies basically. I've done this. I mean, I didn't do it. I'm not gonna blame anyone, but my boyfriend. I'm just gonna let it out there. He kills my fish, kills my fry. If he opens a window in winter, or if it's cold, they die. So this isn't really cool, and also you could put, I bet you could put a nano heater in here, but I don't have one. So my fry died. Yay. Also, a friend of mine who's breeding in a larger scale, he uses these, but he doesn't like them he doesn't like to use them for every fish. This is because the water flow throughout the tank would be alright, but in the bottom it won't be alright. So the water flow on the bottom is gonna be a little bit worse, and if you have a lot of fish in here, it could get a little bit moldy if you have eggs, or the water quality because of the bottom of this could be a little bit bad. So that's something you wanna look out for, especially if you're breeding or keeping fry that tend to keep towards the bottom here. That's something you would want to know about. And of course, it also depends on how many you're keeping here. So all in all, I like it. Very good size, easy to hook up, easy to use, but it can get cold and that could be dangerous. And also the circulation on the bottom is something you want to be aware of. So the next one up is really simple. It's basically just a basket with hangers with a mesh, and also a thread that you can tighten. And this one is my absolute favorite. It's super easy to use, and your fry will not be able to escape. The mesh is really tiny, so they cannot go through, and you just basically hang it on your tank, inside of course, and the water will circulate very well through this mesh, and the temperatures will be stable because it would be inside your tank. And the size is okay. I mean, it could have been bigger, but it doesn't get too much into your aquarium, and when the fry is large enough for this to become very crowded and very tiny, you can release them to the tank. So I really like this one, but that's also a little bit because of my climate. I would prefer using the Marina breather hang-on box all the time, but it's winter time now, so this one is my safest bet. I also like to keep some floating plants on the top of here, and also I like to keep just some plants that either floats or doesn't have to be in the gravel to grow. Moss, something like that, keeps them a little bit more hidden, and they will feel very safe. I have not had fish that has jumped out of this. I haven't experienced that, and I also have not experienced fish jumping into it. Probably because I keep floating plants on top, like inside the basket here, and also outside, just to prevent that a little bit. But you would want to consider if your fish are jumpers. So I bred guppies and different tetras, like silver tip tetras. I'm gonna try neon tetras now, and coral red pencilfish, and yeah, a lot of different basically soft acidic water fishes. So I bred them in these, and it works really well, and it's super inexpensive. I think this is like if I were to say it in dollars, I think this for like Norwegian price converted to dollars, this would be $6. This is more like $15, 25. This I have no idea because I got it off a friend. And this one, I think it's $10 or something like that. So this is the most inexpensive one, and it works really well. The mesh will get a little bit dirty, but just rinse it off in the sink. It's alright. So by far my favorite. So I hope that answered some questions and that you found some inspiration. And if you have any thoughts of things that I haven't gone through or missed out to say, please let me know in the comments below, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye!